Everyone doing this light that I got from Costco. Here's what the box looks like. Energetic lighting, LED flush mount, blah blah blah. This is from Costco. I'm sure you can get them elsewhere, but that's where I got mine. And they're pretty good, pretty bright, you know. So I got one right there. I'm putting in a different one. I'm gonna show you where. Okay, so I'm going to switch out this old fixture for the new one. So I'm sure you have an old fixture, so you just want to get the old one out. Basically, most of these just come apart from the bottom. You start at the bottom, probably unscrew, or this one, maybe not so much. You might have something like this where you just unscrew these little pegs and you unscrew them and it'll be enough to take it down. I'm not going to go too much how to take this apart because you probably don't have this one, but yeah, let's get that out the way first. Alright, so I unscrewed those pegs at the top. This will come down. Go ahead and get this out. It's an expensive light bulb. I'm keeping this. And a lot of the ceiling stuff takes flatheads. So as you can see, I got a flathead right there. There's one on the other side as well. It's kind of rusted. Once I drop these two flatheads, this will come down and I could undo the wires. I should have mentioned right off the bat, make sure your switch is down. You could put a piece of tape on it if you want to make sure no kids or whoever come in and flip it on when you're up here. So make sure your switch is off. I guess the professional way is to go to your breaker and turn the whole power off to this area in the house, but I mean the switch is fine. I've never had a problem. Okay, so I got those flatheads out. Now my old fixture's hanging down. Your switch is off. And then with that off, it's safe to come down here and look, we got a white wire, got a black wire. Let me turn my light on. Alright. So what you want to do is basically, for your old light, unscrew these. So white, looks like that already popped off. And then this is referred to as your bare wire, this copper one. Now when you put your light fixture on, it's going to have a green and yellow wire, and it goes to this bare wire, B-A-R-E. Alright, so there we go. Black, white, and bare. Now your ceiling should have a mount. There's what I mean is there's like a hole right here for a screw right here, and there's one, actually there's like two right here for a small screw to go in. That's where your light's gonna mount up in those screw holes. So I'm gonna go ahead and get all my stuff out the box here, put it on the side. So very simple. You got screws and hardware, you got this, you got the actual LED light, you got the glass, and you got some instructions. Now these instructions will tell you right in the beginning, step 2 right here, it says black to black, white to white, and green to copper / bare. So just like how our ceiling has those wires, our light does. You got white, and that'll go to the white. Black, that'll go to the black, and this yellow and with a green stripe, this will go to that bare wire. Now these holes right here, these bolts that came with this will go through the bottom. They're going to go through this side right here, and the reason why there's 2 on each side and they're slotted is because sometimes these mounts on the ceiling are kind of like they're a little different, or they're cockeyed or whatever, so they give you a couple different options to mount it up. It'll mount up like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and hook up my wires first. You use these little twisty things. Basically what you do is you stick both the wires and then you stick them right next to each other, put this little twisty guy on, and you twist it, and you just keep doing it, keep feeding it. Eventually it'll grab both of them, and it'll have a firm grip on them. It'll be strong enough to where you could let this thing hang from these 3 wires and it should hold it fine, although I don't recommend doing that. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that going. Okay, so I got my black to my black, the white to the white, and the green yellow to the bare copper. Now if you don't have one of these from your ceiling, like if you don't have black, white, and copper, I would just recommend not doing this light. Maybe get someone who knows about this, because say you're missing this bare wire. I mean, personally, I don't really know what would happen if you just hooked up the black and white. You know, and I think if you have a red wire as well, that probably just goes to the other switch on the wall, or a blue wire. But anyways, this is just a simple setup: black to black, white to white, and green and yellow to bare. Now, if you're doing a light and you want it to have a dimmer switch, like some places have dimmer switches, this can be hooked up to a dimmer switch. As you can see, I'll show you. Bright, really low, bright. Okay, so how that works is how we just hooked up the other one with the black to black. Is when you hook up your wire, instead of going black to black, you'll go black to red. Usually when there's a red or a blue wire coming out the ceiling, it means like alternative switch. So like, there's two switches. So just go to the red and try that. Everything else stays the same. If you don't feel comfortable doing that, I would just let someone who does handle it. But yeah, that's how you do a dimmer. So we're going to tuck these wires kind of back up in here. Try not to mess up these little screw caps while you're putting them back in. Sometimes these wires pop out. If they do, it's not a big deal. Just get it back in there. And then from the bottom, we're going to run our screws in here. Alright. I took a paint marker and I kind of put a little paint on the holes, because sometimes when you're looking from underneath this, trying to look through there, especially in an awkward spot, it's kind of hard to see. So you might try that if you're having trouble getting the screws in or the bolts. And after you hook the wires up, before you bolt it in, you might just want to give it a try. Just come hit the switch. As you can see, it's working just like that. Perfect. Okay, so now and again, I don't recommend letting it hang like that, but now you know it's good, and you're not going to put it all together and then it not work. If it doesn't turn on, double check your wires, make sure your white and your black are hooked up and not popped out. Sometimes they can pop out and they don't look like it. But if you can, what you want to do is you want to start these long ones, start them in, like right there and there. And then you could flip this and try to do it and twist it in place. That's why it has these slotted spots. You could lift it up and twist it to lock it, and then you could tighten down the bolts. I did mine like that. And then you just kind of tighten them down a little bit after you got them set. They don't have to be mega tight, just pretty snug. You don't want to crack this plate. Okay, tighten mine down. It's nice and snug. Now it's the glass and the cover. So basically the glass goes up, and then while you're holding the glass, you put that metal ring on the glass as well. You put it up. There's holes in the metal ring that go right here. These will poke out, and then you thread these little guys onto the little pegs. Okay, here's what I mean. This has like little holes in it. You'll put this on here, and then you'll lift it as a whole, and then line up these holes through the pegs, and then tighten these down on the pegs. These is what holds this whole thing. Now it could be kind of like a tricky holding both of these. So be careful, because like this will shift, and then you'll go to get this, and the glass will fall out your hand. So just be careful. I'm gonna do it off camera because I can't do it with one hand. But yeah, that's what you do. Okay guys, so that's it. So I was holding this and this ring part, and then you screw these caps down when these little peg things go through. Be careful, use two hands. It's really easy to drop it when you're doing it, so just be careful. Double check it here. Alright, works good. Perfect. Alright, thanks for watching, and good luck. See you next video.